Deeper than this, though, this is a new mentality. Instead, we are playing to win. We know we are up against a vicious opposition, one that might play a good game on television every so often or saying that they're working for the American people, but deep down, we know what they are. We know what they represent.
If you voted for Donald Trump, this is exactly, almost to the letter, what you wanted. You didn't mind about the anger. You didn't mind conflict between the Republicans and the Democrats. What you wanted was to make a border safe and secure, which they've done. What you wanted were tax cuts, which he's done. What you wanted was cuts to spending, which he's done. Element after element, he delivered exactly what he said he was going to do. And that's why his own voters believe that this has been an incredibly successful presidency.
You know, the famous pollster Frank Luntz said something interesting the other day. He said that if you voted for Donald Trump, you were getting exactly what you voted for. I'd love to know what you think. A secure border, a thriving economy, some accountability that we have never seen before. We're seeing the Director of National Intelligence reopen some problems that America has endured. We're seeing RFK Jr. change some things for the better, making America healthy again. We're seeing Donald Trump sign peace deals all over the world. And now, knowing Frank Luntz, I'm not sure that was meant to be a compliment, but he's right. And it's bigger than just the border or the economy. Look at what just happened at the Department of Justice. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a $50 million reward for Nicolas Maduro.
Today, the Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself. Yet Maduro's reign of terror continues. He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security.
For years, we've watched the situation in Venezuela. We've heard tough talk, but this is different. No more sanctions. This is clear, decisive action. This is the kind of decisive action that we need to have. And this is the kind of move you make when you're done with diplomatic niceties and you're shifting to a policy of resolution. It's a message not just to Maduro, but to every adversary. The old rules are out. This is exactly the kind of America First posture people voted for. But here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the part the media isn't connecting while the administration is taking these bold actions. Key allies are talking about the next step. How do you make these changes last? Charlie Kirk brought up how we do make these changes last. He says it's time to play smash mouth politics.
I completely agree. And this is smash mouth politics. You see, Democrats, they don't hate gerrymandering. They hate losing. And they're very afraid that finally the Republican Party led by President Donald Trump is one that is playing to win. We witnessed Donald Trump have to face 700 years in federal prison. They were playing for keeps during the last presidential election. And now we won that election with great records and great margins. And now we're just trying to redistrict a singular state to be more representative of the Hispanic population in that single state. And they're talking about adding stars to the flag and adding Puerto Rico. Well, guess what? Two can play at this game. President Donald Trump announcing the new census. What that would do is that would also potentially subtract 20 electoral votes from Democrats in the Electoral College system, as congressional seat appropriation is directly correlated with electoral college totals.
He's not just talking about winning the daily news cycle. He floated the idea of the new census, and Donald Trump is on board and already put the Department of Commerce in action. This whole idea is specifically designed to remove non-citizens from the count used for congressional representation. Now think about that for a second. We're talking about a move that could fundamentally reshape the political map of this country for a generation. It's about ensuring that the people who are here legally are counted, and the people who are here illegally are not. That's part of the social contract.
Deeper than this, though, this is a new mentality. This is not a Republican Party that is just playing for neutrality or trying to protect broken norms. Instead, we are playing to win. We know we are up against a vicious opposition, one that might play a good game on television every so often or saying that they're working for the American people. But deep down, we know what they are. We know what they represent. And President Donald Trump and this movement, and you see it across the country with the resolute attitude in Texas, is that we are now going to fight fire with fire. We're going to play offense, and we're finally going to be back in the director and the driver's seat to save this country.
I mean, how?
And they are the ones whose voices determine political power. It's a direct response to the sanctuary cities and states that have for years benefited from population counts that include millions of people who aren't in the country legally. And I think this all kicked off with Texas when you had the 46, 48 Democrats flee the state. And you're starting to see a pattern here. And Governor Greg Abbott, criticize him all you want, but this is a proof with the phrase, don't mess with Texas. So you see the pattern here. This is the three-part process. Step one, take decisive action that delivers on a promise, like the Maduro bounty. Step two, let the results, like a better economy and a more secure border, speak for themselves. So much that even your critics, like Frank Luntz, have to acknowledge it. And three, start laying the groundwork to change the system itself, to lock in those gains through structural changes like the census. This isn't random. This isn't chaos. This is a plan. It's the difference between just holding the White House and actually losing its power to execute a long-term vision. And it's a strategy that, for better or worse, is happening right under the noses of the media that is still trying to play by the old rules. And the news media feels a little left out because under this new administration, no one's giving them a heads up. No one is leaking information to them. And that's what they were used to under the previous administrations. Even Trump 1.0 had so many leaks that the media was able to get out in front of anything he had planned and almost trip him up or play damage control before the information was given. They were wagging the dog. And now the media is being dragged along. They don't know what Trump's next move is. And they're really bad about reacting. They can't control the narrative. And that's where the news media, like many of you, have recognized independent journalists like myself and others across the platforms. We're able to see through. And we don't have a boardroom. We don't have a bunch of editors telling us what to say to control the narrative. This is the Ben Dykes Show. Smash the like and subscribe button on your way out the door. Thanks for watching.